Processed meats, bacon, sausages, hot dogs, ham, and deli slices are among the most insidious dietary hazards for people with high blood pressure. On the surface, they seem convenient and flavorful, but beneath that savory exterior lies a cocktail of compounds that actively worsen hypertension and accelerate cardiovascular damage. The primary culprits are sodium and chemical preservatives, particularly nitrates and nitrites, which are added to extend shelf life, enhance color, and maintain taste. For someone with hypertension, these additives are not just minor concerns, they are active threats to the cardiovascular system. The sodium content in processed meats is alarmingly high. A single serving of bacon or deli ham can contain upwards of 500 to 1,000 milligrams of sodium, meaning that just a few slices can approach or exceed a third of the daily recommended limit for someone with high blood pressure. Sodium, as discussed in excess salt intake, causes the body to retain fluid, increasing blood volume and forcing the heart to pump harder. This repeated strain contributes to arterial stiffness, left ventricular hypertrophy, and ultimately higher risk of stroke and heart attack. Unlike the occasional salty meal, regular consumption of processed meats creates a chronic pattern of elevated blood pressure that silently erodes vascular health over months and years. But sodium is only part of the problem. The preservatives in these meats, especially nitrates and nitrites, are associated with increased oxidative stress and endothelial dysfunction, the impairment of the inner lining of blood vessels that normally regulates blood pressure. When the endothelium is damaged, arteries lose their natural elasticity, making it harder for blood to flow smoothly and increasing the risk of hypertension-related complications. Furthermore, during cooking, nitrates can transform into nitrosamines, compounds that have been linked not only to cardiovascular disease but also to certain cancers, including colon cancer. For someone already struggling with hypertension, adding a potential carcinogen to the mix is a heavy, compounding risk. Processed meats also often contain saturated fats, which independently worsen cardiovascular health by promoting plaque buildup in arteries. When you combine high sodium, harmful preservatives, and saturated fat, you create a triple threat that accelerates atherosclerosis, raises blood pressure, and increases the likelihood of heart attacks and strokes. Even moderate consumption, say, a few slices of deli turkey on a sandwich, can contribute meaningfully to daily sodium and fat intake, while habitual indulgence magnifies these effects dramatically. Hidden dangers make processed meats even more treacherous. Unlike fresh meats, where sodium and fat content are often apparent, packaged and cured meats disguise their risks with flavorings, smoke, and additives. Many people underestimate the cumulative effect. A breakfast of bacon, a deli sandwich at lunch, and a sausage-based dinner can push sodium intake far beyond safe limits without any obvious taste warning. Over time, this pattern fosters chronic hypertension, kidney strain, fluid retention, and an elevated risk of stroke or heart failure. Children and adolescents are particularly vulnerable if processed meats are consumed regularly, setting the stage for lifelong cardiovascular vulnerability. Even beyond blood pressure, processed meats can affect kidney function. The high sodium load forces kidneys to work harder to excrete excess salt, while preservatives and protein load increase metabolic strain. Chronic consumption may contribute to kidney damage, which in turn can worsen hypertension, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to reverse. For anyone with pre-existing hypertension or compromised renal function, processed meats are particularly dangerous because each serving accelerates the decline of both vascular and renal health. From a practical standpoint, the most concerning aspect is how normalized processed meats are in modern diets. Breakfast bacon, lunch deli sandwiches, party platters, and quick sausages have become cultural staples, masking their long-term dangers. People often think moderation is sufficient, but even occasional indulgence contributes to cumulative sodium and preservative exposure. For hypertensive individuals, the safest approach is to treat processed meats as occasional exceptions, not regular components of the diet, and to replace them with fresh lean meats, legumes, or plant-based proteins that provide nutrition without the hidden hazards. In conclusion, processed meats are a perfect storm of danger for people with high blood pressure. They combine high sodium, chemical preservatives, and saturated fat in a way that directly raises blood pressure, damages arteries, strains the heart, and accelerates long-term cardiovascular and kidney problems. Regular consumption is a recipe for chronic vascular stress, quietly worsening hypertension while increasing the risk of heart attacks, strokes, and other serious complications. For anyone with high blood pressure, vigilance is essential. Reading labels, choosing fresh or minimally processed proteins, and treating bacon and sausages as rare indulgences rather than everyday staples can dramatically reduce risk and help maintain long-term cardiovascular health.